Hello, Elon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm more interested in how you're doing today. We're about to dive into a conversation that will challenge your thinking, so I hope you're ready for that. Can you tell me, what drives your passion for technology and innovation?
Of course, I'm doing great today. Thank you. So, if you are a software engineer looking for a new job and want to practice interviews, this video is for you. I just tested out this new AI tool that helps you prepare with mock interviews and it actually works brilliantly. And by the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Laszlo. I'm a full stack web developer with over 15 years of experience and I've spent the last 10 years of my career interviewing other engineers, so I know exactly what hiring managers are looking for. In this video, I'm going to show you how I use this AI tool to practice with mock interviews and how the AI give me direct, raw and honest feedback on my answers. I will also show you a framework, what you can use to answer these behavioral type of interview questions, which are very common in software engineering interviews. So you no longer ramble or freeze or feel awkward about your answers, and you will have a clear structured responses every time. So let's get started. If you log into this AI tool, this is called the FinalRound AI, and you can access it on this domain. After you log in, you will see the sidebar on this side, and the first thing we will talk about today is the mock interview here. And this is an AI tool that has multiple different kind of features, but the one I'm really interested in is called AI mock interview, where the AI will let you practice mock interview with it. And these AIs are like famous CEOs of different companies. As you can see, for example, I will pick Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so now let's pick the company I want to practice the mock interview for. I want to pick Tesla because I want to practice with Elon Musk. Let's click video call. First of all, I can select my resume because the AI might ask questions regarding my resume. I can also select my expertise, and I can also select the role I'm applying for. And I think, yeah, it's this one. It's an engineering role at Tesla. So let's get started with the mock interview. Let me move this to the other side. So I had other mock interviews earlier, and you can see the chat log here from those. So it might be confusing. This is not the current session. These are chats from previous sessions. Hello, Elon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm more interested in how you're doing today. We're about to dive into a conversation that will challenge your thinking, so I hope you're ready for that. Can you tell me, what drives your passion for technology and innovation?
Of course, I'm doing great today. Thank you. So my passion is for innovation and technology is basically the fact that my profession as being a full stack software engineer in the last 15 years is also kind of my passion and hobby, because every time I finish almost every day I finish work, I also, when I go home, I also work on my side projects. For example, one of my side projects is building an AI tool. And then another one is I'm helping software engineers, like mentoring them to become senior engineers. The reason for that is I always strive to learn and grow.
That's fascinating. It sounds like you're not just a software engineer by profession, but also by passion. I love that you're working on side projects, especially one involving AI. That's a great way to stay current and push the boundaries of what's possible. I'm intrigued by your mentoring work with other software engineers. What do you think is the most significant challenge that junior engineers face when trying to grow into senior roles? And how do you address that in your mentoring?
Yeah, I think one of the Biggest challenge I see with junior engineers is that they are suffering by with imposter syndrome and handling imposter syndrome. So they have serious confidence issues. So the first thing I always do is I tell them how great they are and they should start believing in themselves. So this helps to change their mindset. And then they also really worry to ask questions. This is another common question to speak. Common problem I see is that they don't really like to speak up because they are afraid what others might think of them, that others might think the questions they are asking is bad or stupid. So I always encourage them and we practice how to speak up on the meetings, and I always encourage them to speak up and also encourage them to ask questions regardless of if they are thinking this is stupid or not. I don't think there is a stupid question, especially if you are a junior level. You are there for learn, you are there for grow, and the only way to grow is to ask questions because then you will get your answers faster. So you could figure out on your own the answer to these questions, but it's much faster way to just ask a more experienced senior engineer who have been already been there, and they will help you with their answers. So these are like the most common issues I see. What other things you would be interested in?
It's great that you're helping junior engineers overcome imposter syndrome and build confidence. I completely agree that speaking up and asking questions are crucial for growth. You mentioned that there's no such thing as a stupid question, especially for junior engineers. That's a great mindset to have. I'd like to challenge that idea a bit further. What if I told you that there are no stupid questions, but there are questions that reveal a lack of understanding of fundamental principles? How would you approach that situation? And how would you help a junior engineer who might be struggling with a basic concept? Let's assume you're mentoring someone who's having trouble understanding a fundamental concept in software engineering. How would you break it down for them? And what resources would you use to help them grasp it?
Yeah, of course. So basically, when a junior engineer lacks fundamentals of a concept in software engineering, I would just very shortly and give them like a brief summary of the topic they probably don't have understanding, or without before assuming they don't have understanding for the fundamentals, I would ask about if they have understanding of the fundamentals. Like, okay, so in order to understand AI, you need to understand what an LLM, a large language model, is. Are you familiar with this concept or not? And if they are not familiar, then I can give them a short definition of it, and then it would probably help them uh, to understand the original question or the bigger picture. And then you ask what resources would I use to have them grasp it. I think in this case I might share a few resources online. Like I could share like, okay, I understand you don't really understand LLM models yet, so I highly recommend checking out OpenAI's guideline on large language models, and then I would share them the link after our discussion.
Great approach. You're right that understanding the fundamentals is crucial, and it's excellent that you take the time to assess their current knowledge level before diving into explanations. I love that you suggest sharing online resources, such as OpenAI's guidelines, to help them learn more. That's a great way to provide additional context and support. Now, let's take it a step further. Imagine you're working on a project that involves integrating AI into a software system. The project requires you to optimize the performance of the AI model while ensuring it's still accurate. How would you approach this challenge, and what trade-offs would you consider making? By the way, I'm not looking for a specific answer, but rather your thought process and how you tackle the problem.
Okay, so your question is that how would I optimize the performance of an AI model while ensuring its accuracy? And this is a project we are working on where we integrate AI to our software system. So I actually did this a few times already in my recent roles. So basically, one one way of optimizing performance is making sure to pick the right model. So, for example, some of the OpenAI models, LLM models, are not meant to use for example, in APIs. But if you would pick the mini or the nano models, they are much faster for API usage, and they are also which means they are much performant, and they also give you not just giving you quicker answer, but they are also more cheaper, so they are less expensive. And the other way is I would also make sure, to if we were talking to the AI, it's always important to keep in mind context engineering, because the AI might not have enough context to the for the answer to give you. So I would make sure to give it enough context. And in terms of performance optimization, I would also use some sort of caching and scaling strategies on the backend to make sure our system is reliant enough to use the AI system. And I would also incorporate in terms of some sort of health endpoints to make sure to check if the AI is actually running and responding properly. Because if we are talking to an AI system that is probably handling too much load and cannot handle our response, or maybe we are getting rate limited, it doesn't make sense to send a request to these in this type of situations. Did it answer your question?
Excellent approach. You're absolutely right that selecting the right model is crucial for optimizing performance. I love that you mentioned the OpenAI models, such as the mini or nano models, which are optimized for API usage and offer better performance and cost effectiveness. Your emphasis on context engineering is also spot on. Providing sufficient context to the AI model is essential for accurate and relevant responses. And of course, implementing caching and scaling strategies on the back end is a great way to ensure the system's reliability and performance. I also appreciate your consideration of health endpoints to monitor the AI system status and responsiveness. That's a great way to handle potential issues, such as rate limiting or overload. Now, let's assume that you're working with a team to integrate this AI system into a larger software platform. How would you approach testing and validation of the AI system's performance and accuracy, and what metrics would you use to evaluate its success? And by the way, I'll give you a hint. Think about edge cases and potential biases.
Okay, Alan, unfortunately, I need to go, so I need to leave this interview. So it was really nice to give you. Before I go, could you please give me feedback on my answer and my communication skills, because I'm here to practice interviewing.
It was great having you here. I appreciate your candor and willingness to learn. Your answers were clear and concise, and you demonstrated a good understanding of the topics we discussed. Your communication skills are strong, and you were able to articulate your thoughts effectively. One area for improvement could be to provide more specific examples or anecdotes to support your points. But overall, you did a great job. Don't hesitate to reach out if you want to practice more or have any questions. Good luck with your interviewing, and I hope our paths cross again soon.
Thank you so much. And I have one last question. Can you hire me for Tesla?
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I'm just a mock interviewer, not a hiring manager at Tesla. My role is to help you prepare for interviews, not to make hiring decisions. However, I can give you some feedback on your potential fit for Tesla. You demonstrated a strong passion for innovation and technology, which aligns with Tesla's mission. Your experience as a full-stack software engineer and your side projects, such as building an AI tool, are impressive. If you're interested in working at Tesla, I recommend exploring their career page and applying for relevant positions. Good luck.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for the feedback. It was nice meeting you. Have a great day. Bye.
It was great meeting you too. I'm glad I could help. Have a fantastic day and best of luck with your interviews. Bye.
Okay, so after answering these interview questions, you might be wondering what is the structure or format I used, and here it is. So I used the STAR method. You might have heard about it. Many people use it for even to either answer interview questions, or sometimes they use it to structure their work experience on their LinkedIn profile or either on their CVs. So how does this STAR method work for? So it's an acronym. So basically, the S stands for the situation, or I think a better way to structure it is the problem. So first you will start explaining the situation where the whole thing started, or what was the problem you needed to solve. The second is the T. T is the task that you were assigned to. So when you had the situation, then you talk about the task that you needed to do. After comes the A part, it's called the action. It's basically what you did. And it's important to emphasize that the task you were assigned to is not always the same that the action you are doing. Because in order to achieve or fix a task, you might have to do different actions than how the task is described. So this is the next step you talk about. And then in the last section, This is the R, this is the result. Many people miss this part when they answer these common behavioral interview questions. So it's very important to finalize your thoughts or finish your thoughts with the end result. It's also considered the best practice to include quantifiable results like what achievement you did. Maybe you improved the landing page, but okay, but how much you improved? Is it became 2 times faster, 3 times faster? Maybe you reduce the, I don't know, reduce the loading by 50% of a website, or it can be anything, but try to make it quantifiable. And it's also considered the best practice to connect your result with this original situation or problem, because this way the interviewer could imagine what you did there. So make sure to always structure your thoughts using the STAR method, the STAR framework. So that was the mock interview with AI Elon Musk, and honestly, I think this is one of the fastest way to prepare for real interviews, because when you practice under pressure with realistic scenarios, you walk into an actual interview already feeling more confident, because you already answered the hard questions, you practiced the questions, you already felt the nerves, and that's the unfair advantage you can have compared to most candidates because they don't have it. If you want to try FinalRound AI yourself, I leave a link in the description below. It's the exact tool I used in this video. And now here's my question for you. What's the one interview question that always makes you freeze up? Drop it in the comments below, I will be curious to hear. And that was it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.